the Northern Food and Drink Virtual Festival, working with. We will be joined by some of the top chefs around the Northern region and some industry professionals doing masterclasses and demos on the 24th and 25th of May. Event Organisation Team. We're also supporting Hospitality Action and supporting them in the work they do.
Hi there everyone, and welcome to the wine tasting we've got now going on. So if everyone just joined us for the beer, there was a bit of banter going on between beer and wine on what works best. But now we've got Noel Reid over here. Hi Noel, how are things?
How you doing, mate? Really, really good. It's that time of day, isn't it? Bit of wine.
Yeah, definitely. I've got a nice bottle here ready to go.
Good man.
So let's talk about a bit about wine and what sorts of we've got today to go.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, hi to everybody. I'm Noel Reid. I'm the wine buyer currently across at Frederic Robinson, Northern Brewery. Well-respected, well-loved Northern Brewery. Right, many. We're not there at the moment, of course, with what's happening within our industry. But I do have some lovely, lovely wines to share with you. We're just thinking about some fun things you can go out and try and find. We've got a bit of time, some of us, a lot of us at the moment. And yes, we can nip out to the supermarket and stand in the queue. But, you know, there's a lot of our smaller businesses, you know, our wholesalers, you know, our local guys who could really do with a bit more help. And if we can put some work their way, then fantastic. And it's a good time to go out and start seeking some wines. We're going to look at 3 white wines. We're going to have a look at a Torrontés from Argentina. We have a lovely white Rioja and a beautiful Chablis Premier Cru. The idea being wines that people may not be either familiar with, such as Torrontés, white Rioja, maybe overlooked. At the same time, looking at things that very often these days are on top form all the time. And you can say that quite clearly about Chablis, to be fair. We have a nice Provence. That'll be four wines in if we get that far, and then we'll have 3 reds to follow. So we're hopefully looking at a Cab Franc from Bordeaux, which is just delicious. A truly world-class Grenache from Rioja, and a Pinot Noir, small batch Pinot Noir from a tremendous estate called Nadida in South Africa. So that's the plan.
Oh, lovely. So what wine have you got there, Noel, in a minute?
We are going to have a little peek at Torrontés. Torrontés is going to be our starting point. So Torrontés, the reason for showing this is it's a funny thing. You don't see it around that often. And Argentina are famed, as we know, for Malbec, for huge, wonderful red wines, and rightly so. The Malbecs are tremendous. And to be fair, seek out the Cabernets, they're tremendous for Cabernet. I'm very lucky to be working with, I've always called him the hardest working man in wine, which is my friend Martin Perez out in Casa Reina is the name of our winery there, who is, Martin doesn't understand what the word jet lag means. He just spends his entire time flying, promoting his wines, promoting Argentina, and showing the world their quite wonderful, wonderful wares. We probably met about six years ago when I was out looking for a new Malbec. Came across Martin, his team. I was on a visit with some others, and it was mind-blowing when you go somewhere as a buyer and you're stopped in your tracks. Some things are just special, and his wines were special alongside winemaker Bernardo Bossi at the time, who came from Catina, who are very well respected. Their wineries right on, as it were, almost at the Golden Mile, as it were, at Cobos. Cobos is there, some of the big names there. Incredible vineyards, incredible wines. Immediately won world's best Malbec, but we wanted a white wine to go with it, and we didn't have one. And Torrontés, it was too easy to go for Chardonnay, but the world has Chardonnay. So what do we do there? What's different? And they have Torrontés. It's a wine which is loved or loathed because sometimes it can be a bit much. Sometimes it can be overly perfumed, but done correctly, I'm a firm believer this could be wonderful for Argentina. So if you're out and about and looking for something different, again, in terms of style, I might actually try it, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Stylistically, there's two ways to cook Torrontés. Some can be overly blousy, very, very, very soft, very heavily perfumed, a bit too much actually, and overcropped. So there's lots and lots of wine produced, not a lot of love given to it. But in some areas, it is treated brilliantly. And somewhere such as this wine, which is up in a little place called Salta, right in the north of Argentina, 1,000 meters high, 3,000, 4,000 feet. It performs wonderfully. So you have this, quite even though it's very high, it's still very warm during the day. It can be mid 30s, late 30s, but then it cools at night time, maybe 12 degrees. So those vines have a chance to rest. The grapes have a chance to rest, given it a longer kind of a ripening season, and they produce what can be beautiful wines. Imagine how can you put it? They're powerful wines, but they're perfumed. They can be elegant. Me and Martin looked for this wine for the best part of 2 years. I don't know how many Torrontés we tried, but it was wonderful to come across this. So if you like wines that are Sauvignon Blanc in style, so they can have really nice acidity, really nice pretty fruits, this might be a kind of wine to try and seek out and find. This one, as I say, is Casarena Torrontés. Other really great producers you can find out. What I would say is check with your local merchants, see what they have. Certainly give them a call. Yeah, lots of kind of pineapple notes, kind of peach skin, an outer peach, and then refreshing, really, really refreshing. Lots of acidity, coats them out, freshens everything up. It's absolutely lovely, actually. So I do hope people do have a look. And
Samantha's just asked you a quick little question there, Noel.
Oh, hi, Sam. Yes, Provence Rosé. This is I'll be actually preaching to the Queen of Provence. Samantha loves Provence, and yes, I have a Provence Rosé here to share with everybody, which is again a lovely, lovely wine. Anyone who knows me will know the way I purchase wines, and I like just a spread of flavors and a spread of nuances, and something which is hugely complex. And that wonderful, delicate little Provence when we get to it is like that as well. But this I thought would be a real eye opener for some. They may have passed this on a shelf. Look for Colombe. They make a wonderful wine. El Pornavir, I think it is called Pornavir, do a lovely wine. There's a producer who produces one called Don David, which is more mainstream, but they add a little oak to it. And in fact, it works really, really well. It's a brilliant example. But this one particularly, I love this freshness of style. And we're going to continue, if you see this wine around in our pubs as you visit, when we all come back online, we can continue with this wine and look to improve year on year. I say improve year on year. This has actually just been awarded a gold medal about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, Paul's just said it's very easy drinking and very underpriced.
Really easy drinking, well, and very underpriced. I mean, what I love about this is we're not London based, and some of my fun friends from London laugh sometimes when they see the prices we can put these forward for, because they are bargains. They're true bargains. A lovely wine. Certainly a nice way to kick off.
And someone said, is it a new one?
Pardon me?
Is it a new wine from?
Yes. So this has only come out in the last 12 months. So they never produced one before. We made the decision as a team together to produce one, to make one, to add it to the portfolio. Remembering everything in their portfolio was gold. So I produced I blend the Roble wine, which is the entry-level wine that constantly runs gold. Every wine they have won gold. We couldn't bring anything in that wouldn't do the same. And thank you, Lord. It won, as I say, at the Sommeliers Award 2 weeks ago. Obviously, none of us are at work, so we can't promote it. But it's nice to be able to show people the wine, and in time to come, I'm sure they'll have a chance to try it again. But go to your local merchants, have a look what they got, ask them about Torrontés, and see if they can lead you in the right way. Cheers. Wine number 2?
Yeah, definitely. Let's go for it.
Okay. Can I just say, Sean, it's absolutely brilliant for yourself and Craig to put this together for everybody.
Me, Craig, and Jackie have come up with the idea. It's absolutely come off really well today. We've had great people involved, and obviously we're raising a bit of money for Hospitality Action as well. We're near enough a quarter of the way through what we aimed to at the start, and hopefully we'll raise a bit more than what we aimed for, really.
Well, you know what, Sean, I've actually written some call-outs here. That's why I'm juggling paper around. And number 1 says Hospitality Action, Dawn. You know, the reality, more than ever, our industry needs, and the charities within our industry need the help and commitment. We're not doing the fundraisers, etc. And they're always there to help. And it's great that they're involved, and very proud to know Dawn well. And hi, Dawn, if you're watching. And let's raise some cash.
Yeah,
okay,
definitely.
Second up, this wine is a lot of fun for me. It's a bit like the last one. It's kind of a wine that sometimes is overlooked. So, White Rioja, a region that's, well, in England, certainly incredibly popular in terms of their reds, you know, tradition, Spanish style, heritage. You know, and it seems to suit us. They tend to be quite soft and easy drinking. Tempranillo is works very well, and the white wines can often be overlooked. To be fair, some of them are a little ordinary sometimes, made with the Viura grape, but very often they can be brilliant. So I would say, again, search them out, try something, especially having bits of tapas, etc. I got myself some olives here, and I have some cheese, which I'll nibble along. And this is a wine which, personally, I think may be the best wine I've ever been part of producing and blending. It's not an expensive wine. White Rioja tends not to be. But it is lovely, and what you sometimes have there is ability to bring a warmth to the wine with a little bit of oak. So in this White Rioja, of course being the region, there is an addition here of a couple of grapes, and White Grenache is the big one here. Grenache Blanco. It really adds like a mineral, kind of like a chalkiness to the wine, so it keeps it together. So you have that fleshiness of the wine and a mineral streak through it, and it's utterly divine. Our guys David Focada out in a little place called Rincon de Olivida was where we seek this. I'm a bit of a wine bore, I guess, and I'll go to the end of the earth to find the right wine. And these guys are maybe 80 kilometers south of Logroño. So you come into Bilbao in the north, you come down to Logroño. If you're ever out that way, you know, the tapas is amazing. There's one particular street there. If anyone knows it, please put it on the bottom there. I can't remember the name of the street, but it's just a joy to be there. You go much further south, out of the big wine regions of Alta, Alavesa, and you come on down into the lowlands of Baja, where a lot of the very good mass-produced wine produced. It's not a bad region at all. It's fabulous. It has the ability to produce lots of good wine. Then you rise up again to 800 meters to a little biosphere called Olivida de Rincon. And there's population of 500 people. To be honest, I think I've only ever seen 2, and that was David and his dad. But in terms of a vineyard, it's just so beautiful. They can't use herbicides, pesticides. It's incredible. All you can smell is lavender and herbs, and it's incredible. It's very barren, obviously very poor soils for making good wine. Poor being good soils for making wine. For this wine, in terms of we actually added some Sauvignon to this as well, which most people probably wouldn't notice if they were to taste it. We wanted the freshness. That was the zip. On the palate, we wanted that softness and ripeness. Like a melon, like a really pretty, bright, soft wine. But again, with that Grenache or Garnacha, just holding it as a mineral streak. It's brilliant. Look out White Rioja. They're absolutely worth a look. Don't overlook them. Try a few. Try a few of them. But this guy, David Picard, is a genius winemaker. Works and works and works. And so it's always a pleasure to work with him. So that's our little White Rioja. A little sip, actually, if that's okay. It is one of my house wines here. It just brings a smile to my face. It's great with any kind of cured meats, fabulous with cheeses. I kind of wish I had some prawns now, some prawns and olive oil or something. That'd be perfect for that. Great tapas wine. So that one is White Rioja, La Focada from David Focada. Bro. Next one up. So the first two were very much wines that people can explore and find. This one is, of course, one of those names that's renowned. Let me just put this other glass down. One minute. Chablis is a funny area. It's come from fashion to almost not dismissal, but people were worried about the quality, and then back up to the heights of fashion again. And it's great to see an area that was challenged by the massive, wonderful New World wines, and reacted in the positive way, which was to be better and better and better. It's the perfect example for me, Chablis, of a wine which you can almost within reason take off a shelf, and it should be pretty good these days. Again, speak to your local wine merchants. They're the people to speak to. They're the ones with the best of the best. It's a wine which always makes me laugh because, of course, it's Chardonnay. People say they don't like Chardonnay but love Chablis, and I guess that's because Chardonnay is a blank canvas. You can do anything with it. You can heavily oak it. You can make it very mineral. You can make it very fine. You can keep it with high acids. You can use malolactic and make it fat and buttery. So there's lots of different things you can do to create the wine that you want. But in Chablis, they keep it as simple as possible. And I think sometimes when you first taste Chablis, people miss it. You're like, oh, I was expecting more than that. I always find the second glass is better. And that's because it's not a wine you get bored of. It seems to have a real character of its own. It tends to have, with its soils, very limestone-rich soils in general, an ability to have a terseness, like a tenseness to it, which keeps the wine together. This is from a little domain, tiny domain, called Domaine Georges. I was lucky to meet David, again, another David, and his father, who, I turned up, from the UK, dressed as you would, and, they're in the back of the van heading for the vineyard. There's something had happened. We had to go together. I'm in the back with the dog. And it was just brilliant because that's where you want your owners, your winemakers. You want them down in the vineyards doing what they do best. And that's what they do, these wonderful wines. Chablis is also the best example I feel of quality level. So you have the whole area. Imagine this little table is the area. Then you have a plate inside that, which would be the Premier Cru region, and then you may have this little kind of tiny glass area here, which is just one hill, which is Grand Cru Chablis. There's seven vineyards there, and that is a perfect example of looking at something and go, okay, that's how they worked out the quality level at the beginning. Sunshine Hill, surrounded by these slopes of Premier Cru vineyards, and then the lands with the lower wines. Don't be put off by them. Chablis in general is very good. But when you come to Premier Cru level, like something like Montmain, which we have here, it can be just sensational. This is a little area called Butu. Someone will kill me for my French, but Butu. Again, it sits on that little, as a Clément of Montmain. Steely, minerally, tiny bit of citrus to it, which I always really love with Chablis. But it's one of those wines which will go with anything. So for instance, for me, just happen to have some here. Some Gruyere, some hard cheese, brilliant. White wine is often overlooked for cheese. We all go for a big heavy red. Very often it's not the way to go. Something like Telaggio, which I also have, try it with a fresh style of white. Very hard to go with those kind of rind wash cheeses, but that certainly works. Let me just try our Chablis. It's just magic. Wines that age wonderfully. We never normally buy these. Whenever you see them in the supermarkets, it's often they can be very young. Don't be put off again. If you must queue and you happen to grab a bottle, it'd be great. But give them a couple of years, and these wines age as they should do, and take on extra character and complexity, and have a greater, I don't know, more of a feel to them, more of an elegance to them. So I tend to use this again as a house wine, and it works great with, again, tapas, most chicken dishes, pork, wonderful wine. So that's Chablis Premier Cru. For me, Chablis the area which has turned itself around, taken on the challenges, and risen above them.
So you can get an aged wine from a merchant a lot easier than the supermarket, though, can't you?
Absolutely. So the thing about the merchants is that this is what they do. They are the specialists in these style of wines. We've got some fabulous merchants here. We have around the corner from me, we have winos up in Oldham and Saddleworth. You've got the guys, my friend Ben down at Hanging Ditch, who has the second place open. I don't know if Hanging Ditch is open at the moment. Whether if he's not, absolutely supporting when we reopen. Great wines, great selection. And they're the places you can go and listen to the experts and listen what they have to say and take it on board and go home knowing that what you've just taken home and spent your money on is going to be...
We've got a couple involved there. We've got a couple of vineyards and things like that, which obviously are growing their own and things like that. But we've got Barker Wines involved in the show. They're showcasing their ranges they've got involved, and Pavino Wines. They're showcasing as merchants as well.
Wonderful.
So if anyone wants a bit of traction to find a wine merchant, we've got 2 involved and a couple of vineyards involved in the festival. Just go and take a look at their pages once we're talked.
Wonderful. Let me just move this. We're off to Sam's favourite. We're going to try some Provence.
Funny enough, Sam's just posted about it.
Yeah,
she's just finished the Sablé.
Getting my Côte de Provence ready. I love it. No, Sam is a little lucky there because she knows the region very well. And what's lovely about that is she'll be a very fierce critic if we got it wrong. And I have to say, this is a 2-year project. I mean, I think sometimes things appear and people probably imagine that it's just something we liked on our travels, and we try very hard to make sure it's the right thing at the right time. And certainly when we're on-trade specialists, it has to be at the right price as well. And we are absolute bargain hunters. But what we do with that is bring people along with us who we want to work with, and they wish to be involved. You become a team. Certainly where I work, you find that the companies you work with, we're working with for a long time, where they don't have CEOs, etc. You're speaking to the owners. And with something like this, as I say, 2-year project to find, because Provence is a funny thing. There's lots and lots and lots of it. Some of it will be to your taste, some may not be, because there's 3 grapes they kind of use. They use Cinsault, which again gives this really lovely backbone to it. Again, like a mineral foundation. Grenache, which will give you a fruitiness, which is so important in a consumer-led market. And then you have Syrah to add a little structure and a little bit of weight to it. And the way we kind of put our wines together is to make sure our Provence and many Provences are able to keep a structure, a dry style wine, but allow the Grenache just to come out on top. Just winning, not too much, not making it overly flamboyant. It's got to be a dry white wine, a dry rosé. And we're looking just to have that wine, the fruit just poke its head up. And I just let you know it's there. Again, that makes it a pleasure to drink on its own. I'll put my nose in actually. Lots of raspberries. Yeah, it's just summer fruit. It's red summer fruits. But again, it's held back. It's not too over the top. Hey, Dawn. How you doing?
Hi, Dawn. You're right. If for those of you who don't know, Dawn is involved heavily within hospitality action. I've been speaking to Dawn for the last 4 weeks, arranging on everything that's going on with the festival to help support them guys. It's been absolutely great working with Dawn.
Dawn's a trooper. Never stops.
She very much is.
Dawn, but yeah, hospitality was number 1 on my list of call-outs. So great work. I'm just going to do a little wine tasting with some people maybe who haven't done it before. So I have a bucket here because clearly I'm on for half an hour just, and I'm about to have tea.
That sounds good, that mate.
My tea. So again, if you were to taste normally, you drink it, You taste a little bit of dryness, a little bit of sweetness actually at the top of your tongue here. Not too sweet, being Provence, and maybe an alcohol here, a bit of fruit. If you want to see what we do and what we're looking for in a wine, round the gums, bring air in, aerate it, and you feel all your senses open. You can feel all the fruits and all the minerals, and that's what we do. We don't expect.
It's very different doing it that way. I've just done it myself with a Sauvignon Blanc I've got here myself.
Brilliant.
And you get all the flavour profile coming through.
Absolutely. If you put your tongue out, you won't feel like we almost be salivating. It's crazy. We're looking for that mix between keeping the fruit that people taste and keeping the acid balance so that the wine can live. And that's kind of the trick when you're putting them together. You probably noticed I've now moved on to my dad's wine glass. That's what we do at home. The Riedels go away, and out come dad's wine. So yeah, Provence, for those who know the region, you're down towards the Mediterranean. You're in a lovely part of the world in southern France. Those three grapes work wonderfully for the region. It's great to have an area which predominantly, is rosé based. Rosé very often used to be a wine that was produced with wine that was left. You'd have some white wine, some red wine, make a bit of a blend, call it rosé. Nowadays, it's not the same. There's some wonderful, wonderful, wonderful wines. Sort of Whispering Angel, which gets silly marks but silly prices. Angelina Jolie and Mr. Pitt, I believe, still have theirs. They're probably finding out who owns it at the moment. Miraval. But there's some lovely wines, and we're heading into summer. We've got a bank holiday coming. Speak to your local wine merchant, grab a bottle of Provence, and sit out in the garden. So maybe I don't know to be honest. I don't know what the weather's like tomorrow, but I hope it's really nice for everybody. So move on to Reds. We'll do it together. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go.
We're going to start with a wine which I was really, really proud to find. I mean, truly proud to find. It's a wine from South Africa, from a tiny, again, we work with these small producers. It's the people we want to see in our industry. They're so committed to what they do. And, well, I don't even see this, but the label on this is stunning as well. It's beautiful. It's by a company called Natida. They're out in Durbansville. So imagine you're flying into Cape Town. You're about, half an hour or so northish. And if you're going to Stellenbosch, it's probably an hour inland. So it's kind of almost like a triangle heading towards the coast, north of Cape Town. And they produce wonderful Sauvignon Blanc. I mean, just delicious. I mean, the Natida Sauvignon we have is kind of a halfway house between the kind of prettiness and the green grass of France and the lusciousness and the big fruits of New Zealand. It's a brilliant, brilliant wine. But while we were there, Yakos, a good friend of ours now, Bernard, the owner, showed us this wine. And you can't show it to somebody if you're not going to let them buy it. And it was just brilliant. This wine's brilliant. But it turns out there's so little of it made that, there's a couple of barrels made. That was everything. It was only for basically the cellar door. But it was mind-blowing. And they've been very kind, and they now share that tiny allocation with us. So half of it comes to the UK for us, and half of it stays for the cellar door. And again, another wonderful note is this is another wine that has just won gold at the Sommeliers. So that's been a great, well, I think it's fair. It deserves gold. In terms of style, for those who like Pinot Noir, if you don't know Pinot Noir too well, it's a lighter coloured grape, but it's still massively intense in the mouth. But it's got lighter fruits. It's more red currant fruits. So you're looking at strawberry and raspberry rather than the deep kind of, blackberry kind of notes and blueberry notes. Again, it's kind of a wolf in sheep's clothing, as it were. It looks quite light and quite easy to drink, but it's powerful. There's two styles typically of Pinot. There's a very soft strawberry style, and then you have the big kind of richer earthy style. You'll find that in Burgundy. Homeland, of course, is Burgundy. Wines like Volnay, which is silky and soft, and they've got huge wines like Gevi Chambertin, wines with power. This almost sits in the middle again. This is, I'll just put my nose on. Soft, fruited, but smoky, kind of intense and smoky and almost earthy. And it has an intrigue about it. It's not just an easy little wine. It's got an awful lot of power. In fact, Sean, you mentioned somebody was doing lamb before or after this.
I was literally about to just jump on with you now. So Luke Reynolds has literally just finished his demo.
Yeah.
And he's just done a cannon of lamb with carrot star anise, puree, rolled pomane maxine, and a veal jus. So would that work quite nicely with that?
Perfect. It's got the fruit and the fun to go with the lamb, but it has the acidity to pull through and the extra character for the lamb. A little bit of smokiness to it. It worked really well. Yeah, absolutely. So again, same thing. I keep looking at my call outs here, and I come down to the same things, which is, speak to your independents. Try and look out these wines. If people want to leave messages, we can point them in the right direction for people who have this. Obviously, we're closed at the moment ourselves. With a couple of people we sell that through to, who may still have some. But have a look for South African Pinot Noir. It isn't the cheapest wine. This is great value, to be fair. But it's a great wine, great area for Pinot Noir, and certainly a wine to explore. Again, try chili as well to make some lovely little Pinot Noirs over there.
So since we've just talked about food with that one, Michael Wilkinson's just gone live 5 minutes ago. He's just starting his demo now. So just to let people know what he's doing a Korean fried chicken thigh with a buttermilk waffle and a sriracha mayonnaise. So any of the wines that we've talked about today already, any of them would go with that dish?
You said buttermilk?
Yeah, buttermilk.
I'll be all over the Rioja in the middle.
Okay.
Soft enough, warming enough, and that'll sit really nicely. So if everyone's doing that, have a look for that. I'd even look for a soft Chardonnay. I mean, Chablis will go with anything, pretty much. But I think maybe a slightly softer Chardonnay, maybe go for white Burgundy if you can find one. Not going too far up the scale, but again, speak to your local merchant. Shall we move to the next one?
Yeah, let's go for it.
And Yakos, if you happen to be watching, thanks for the wine, mate. Brilliant wine. Okay, 2 to go. Back into the old world. So the wine we're about to taste is from...
Did you say, quick one, Noel, did you say the white Rioja then?
Yeah, the white Rioja.
Yeah, that's lovely. I'm just going to post it onto their page so they can see what you're recommending.
Brilliant. Okay, so we're back into old school wines, but with a modern twist. So you have Bordeaux, which people know in the southwest of France. It's a huge region for wine. Sometimes it's too easy to have the all-capture word, Bordeaux. There's so many wines down there. They use different grapes, and it's not a catch-all, the word Bordeaux. Again, it's a region which you can find great value. Unfortunately, some of the wines have become so far extreme in terms of pricing. You can only look at them on shelves if they're on there. Silly prices. So we're always constantly looking for places which can give us something of massive value. Chateau Penning, Patrick's place, is a joy. He produces, we've basically on the East flank, Genisson, I think is the name of I'll just check the back actually. Jenny Sack is his little village. And it's basically next door to Saint-Emilion. So you've got yourself tremendous soils. They're basically just between a little plateau next to Saint-Emilion. And further down the hill, I wouldn't say wastelands, but a bit more like marshland. And he's got this little tiny plot of big stones, huge stones, and that's great for drainage, and that's that kind of pebbly soil, which Merlot and this Cab Franc work really well in. Cabernet Franc is one for people to go and try. Absolutely go and try it. It's famous, really. Bordeaux and also the north of France, a place called the Loire, where you have some more Champigny or Chinon. Lovely wines. They can be a bit tense. They always tend to have a real lovely perfume, a floralness to them, and that gives a lovely expression. In great vintages, they're sensational wines up in the north. In poorer ones, it can be a bit green and stalky and hard work. In Bordeaux, it works wonderfully. So you find a lot of the big chateaus on the right bank in Saint-Emilion, they will find themselves quite heavy in Cab Franc. So something like Cheval Blanc is majority, not massive majority, but 50-60% is Cab Franc to Merlot. So it's a wine that it ages wonderfully. It's a little bit lighter than Cabernet Sauvignon. Again, check Argentina. Our Cab Franc from Casarena just won gold again, but it's at a different price point. I wanted to show things that people go out and just have a little peek at and see what there was. Don't be scared of the Casarena wine. It's wonderful. It's a gem. It's a gold medal winner. But this, for me, Chateau Penin, again, lovely labels. Little Cab Franc from Bordeaux. Go and seek it out. It tends to be very silky in the glass. It's a beautiful wine to look at, actually. You're all kind of red currant, but blueberries as well. Not massively heavily in the blackcurrant notes. Patrick makes really pretty wines. It's so pretty. It's soft, ripe. I would probably have that afterwards with a little bit maybe of the brie. I think that would work quite nicely. A little Cornish brie I've got. So one to look out for, Cab Franc. Check them out. I've got one here. Harrogate Wines is a wonderful wine merchant. Great. Brilliant. And Buon Vino and Settle. So certainly, just seek them out. Let's support these people through these difficult times. I'm going to keep this one for after, actually. It's delicious. So Cab Franc from Bordeaux. Have a little look around. I actually put down here as well, guides to look at. If you're looking, we've all got time. There's a wonderful guide from Spain called the Penin Guide, which is tremendous. And it has everything there. It's a bit of a hard read, it's quite factual. But any wine in Spain is pretty much in there. Worth a look if you're into a region. Certainly Platter's Guide for South Africa. If you enjoy your South African wines, try and seek out that book. Got one for Baz there, Barry. Six. This is attention to detail. When people go this far, that the wine's going to be good. So there's 6 different labels of local flowers on their labels, and if somebody's gone that far, you know that the wine they've taken the time to make sure the wine's right, and he does a great job. That's a bargain wine. It's a real bargain wine. Lovely. And again, old wine. So these vines are about 80 years old, which is incredible, really. Hence the softness and the richness. Want to go, mate?
That's excellent. Sounds good to me.
What are you slurping away on there?
I've got a Sauvignon Blanc from Western Cape.
Oh, lovely. Very good. Okay, last one.
It's quite nice, and I'm just finishing off a little bit of the. So we did a little bit of cheddar cheese, chorizo, and chocolate with a beer tasting literally just before we come onto here. So I'm just having a little bit of that with the chorizo and the cheese.
Fantastic. You know what? I almost did myself some little chorizo bits and prawns. I thought I won't be able to talk half the time. I'll have my mouth full of chorizo. If I decided to leave most of that food, because it'll just be me watching me eating, having dinner.
Sounds good.
Okay, so this one is something we're extraordinarily proud of. The white Rioja you saw earlier. This is a red equivalent. We went looking in Rioja a number of years ago, probably 5 years ago now, 4 or 5 years ago. We wanted something of our own. We wanted something unique. A lot of the big companies are in the UK, but there's lots of little places and that people they don't make the big numbers that supermarkets would require, and that's where again your local wholesalers and merchants come in. These guys, I've told you the story. They're in Oliveda. What's funny is though, I kind of pinpointed them to go and see them, but I hadn't really heard back from David. It turns out David can't speak English, and he couldn't read what I was sending him. So it took some time to come back to me. And we turned out to be the first English people to ever visit his winery. It's that remote. But what a visit. I think we tasted these wines about 1:30 in the morning after arriving from Bilbao. And they were just mind-blowing. There's one wine which is Garnacha, Tempranillo, and Graciano, which you don't see that often. And for him to put that in a simple blend was quite remarkable. And then we tasted this, and literally it blows you away. And you just sit there thinking, 1:30 in the morning, I've got 10 really lovely wineries to visit, all great wines. And I already kind of knew what we were going to be doing because this was so exceptional. And we thought it would be like a flagship wine at a silly price. And this wine's no more expensive than their Reserva wine. So it's extremely fairly priced. It's an old vine, Cepas Viejas, old vine Garnacha. Yeah, my thought here is for people who are going to have a look at maybe old vine Garnacha wines. Rioja is a great place to try, but you'll find lots of places in Spain with old vine Garnacha. They're not expensive wines typically. Again, old vine Grenache, very prevalent in the south of France and the Rhone. Again, go and have a look. You know, you go right up to the Beaucastels, or Chateauneuf for old vine Grenache. We don't have to go that far. Lots of lovely old vine Grenache to find. And this one, I mean, look at the colours. You'll see it's absolutely stunning. It's a beautiful wine. And I thought it'd be a nice way to finish if people get a chance to seek it out. This year, well, year gone, International Wine Challenge, it won best trophy, so not just gold, but trophy for best Rioja Garnacha. Then it won the trophy for best Spanish Garnacha. And then it won the international trophy for best Garnacha in the world. And it was so lovely to be able to speak to someone like David and say, "You've won this." You know, this is a man who I met in the vineyard who couldn't speak any English, and all of a sudden he's on top of the world and he deserves to be there. Wonderful, wonderful wine. So let's take a little sip for me.
Yeah.
All kind of. This is more blueberry and blackcurrant, but it oozes class. You can feel it, silky and rich. Have another go. I think I will. Almost tea time. That's just gem. That's a gem. It's a gem. You know, when we work in the industry we do, we're very privileged, and it's great, Sean, you guys have put this together. I know our industry is struggling at the moment, and but we will come back bigger and stronger as we always do.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
It's a pleasure to share some time with people to be able to do this. And if you do it again, we'll be there for you, 100%.
Thanks very much for Noel for being involved in it.
Not any call outs.
Yeah, go for it, mate. Please, it'd be great.
Dawn and the team, big up. Let's raise some money. Local pubs. That's our base of our business. You know, we are in a total unknown quandrum at the moment, and the reality is, you know, we're all going to need your help when we get back on track. So I was thinking about this takeaways. I mean, someone like the Church Inn up in where I am, up in Saddleworth, up in Upper Mill, one of the best places you'll ever eat. So when this is finished, go and see them, book in. It's hard to get a reservation actually, but book in at the Wagon. But they're doing takeaways if you're local at the moment, so have a look at that. And the Church Inn in Cheadle Hume, again, they've started doing takeaways. If you're local down that way, give them a call, get involved. You know, it's these guys, we go and see them when they're open, so let's bring them home with us, you know. Anything else I've got here, guys? Have done. Oh, Tim Atkin. I was thinking about Tim Atkin actually. Big wine writer. If you like wines in South America, Casareda, Argentina, etc. So look up Tim Atkin's guides because he's got some lovely things to say about those wines. So again, it's been a pleasure. I hope everyone's safe. I look forward to seeing everybody when we come out of this. There's always good wine to drink.
That's lovely. Thanks very much, Noel, for today. It's been absolutely great. Some great feedback, and it's been lovely to have everyone involved. And thank you very much, and we will catch you soon.
Cheers,
Thanks
mate.
very much, guys. We'll see you.
Ollie Hoyle, catering manager.
Peter Molar, doorman.
Ricardo Oliva, concierge.
Ulrich Edwards, concierge assistant.
We've got you.
Linda Anderson, cafe owner.
Ioana Georgiou, junior sous chef.
Nuno Pinto, bartender.
Mark Black, head porter.
Andrea Demir, receptionist.
We've got you.
Aaron Dixon, apprentice chef.
Federica Pinna, pastry chef.
Sabino Mazzone, pastry chef.
Himari Bochkay, barista supervisor.
We've got you. Sean Maharjan, sushi head chef.
Mitchell Collier, duty manager.
Anna Grabczewska, publicaria cleaner.
whatever you do in hospitality, isn't it good to know that someone's got your back in case anything goes wrong?